As technology advances, surveillance is becoming a common part of daily life. Governments use CCTV cameras, facial recognition, and online tracking systems to protect national security. But how do we balance public safety with the protection of personal privacy? In this video, we'll explore how surveillance technology works, the human rights issues it raises, and the need for regulations to protect both security and privacy. Surveillance technology refers to tools used to watch or track people's activities. These tools include CCTV cameras, which have been around for years, as well as more advanced systems like facial recognition software that can identify people in real time. Governments also monitor our online activities, things like what websites we visit, our social media posts, and even what we search for on the internet. These technologies are often justified as necessary for public safety, catching criminals, or preventing terror attacks. But as they become more widespread, there's a growing concern about how they affect individual privacy. Let's take a closer look at how some of these technologies work. CCTV cameras record footage of public areas and store that footage for future use. Police can review the footage to find evidence after a crime has occurred. Facial recognition software uses artificial intelligence to scan people's faces in public spaces. It compares these faces to a database of known individuals, helping authorities identify wanted criminals or people under investigation. Online surveillance is a bit different. Governments can track what we do online. This includes things like internet searches, social media activity, and even our private messages in some cases. The goal is often to find signs of illegal activity before it becomes a serious threat. While these technologies can help with safety, they also raise serious concerns about privacy. Privacy is a basic human right, protected by laws and international agreements like the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. There are a few key issues here. 1. Surveillance without consent. Often people don't know they're being watched or tracked. For example, facial recognition can identify you in a crowd without you ever realizing it. 2. Data collection. These technologies collect and store huge amounts of data about people. This includes personal information like where you go, who you talk to, and what you do online. Without strict rules, this data can be used in ways that invade your privacy. 3. Potential misuse. There's a risk that governments or companies could misuse this data. It could be used to target specific groups, control populations, or track political opponents. One of the most controversial tools is facial recognition. While it's useful for identifying criminals or missing persons, there are significant problems with how it works. Studies show that facial recognition systems often misidentify people, especially people of color and women. This can lead to innocent people being wrongly accused or arrested. For example, in the US, several cases have shown that facial recognition software falsely identified African Americans at a higher rate than white individuals. This bias can lead to unfair treatment and highlights the need for regulations that prevent discrimination. The central issue is balancing security and privacy. Governments argue that surveillance technology is necessary to keep us safe from threats like crime and terrorism. They say that without these tools, it would be much harder to prevent dangerous situations from happening. But the other side of the debate is just as important. How much privacy are we willing to give up in the name of safety? And who decides what is too much surveillance? There's also the concern that these technologies can be abused. Once a government or law enforcement agency has access to surveillance systems, it's easy for them to use them for purposes beyond what they were intended for, such as spying on citizens or political opponents. Some countries have stronger protections than others. For example, in the European Union, the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, ensures that people have control over their personal data. It requires companies and governments to get clear consent before collecting or using someone's data. In the United States, the Fourth Amendment offers some protection against unreasonable searches, but surveillance technology often operates in a grey area where the rules aren't clear. This can leave people vulnerable to being watched without their knowledge. The key here is having clear, transparent laws that protect both security and privacy. Governments must be held accountable for how they use these technologies, and there needs to be independent oversight to make sure they don't misuse them. Surveillance technology is all around us, helping to keep us safe by preventing crime and protecting public spaces. As surveillance technologies continue to evolve, it's crucial to find the right balance between keeping people safe and protecting their privacy. Without proper regulations, surveillance can easily become invasive and violate our basic rights. The solution isn't to eliminate surveillance technology altogether. Instead, we need to ensure that these tools are used responsibly, with clear laws and oversight to prevent abuse. Governments, human rights advocates, and everyday citizens all have a role to play in shaping this future. But as these tools become more powerful, we have to ask, how can we use them without giving up our privacy and freedom? Cameras, facial recognition, and online tracking systems are designed to watch over us. But when they collect data without our consent or track us unfairly, they start to raise serious concerns about our basic rights. It's important to balance safety with privacy. Yes, these tools help protect us, but if they aren't used carefully, they can invade our privacy or be misused to target certain groups of people unfairly. We need clear rules to guide how these technologies are used, so we don't sacrifice our privacy in the name of safety. There should always be oversight to prevent any abuse of power. The future of surveillance depends on all of us. By staying informed, raising our voices, and demanding strong protections, we can ensure these tools are used to protect us without taking away our rights. Thank you for watching. Together, we can make sure technology serves us without losing our freedom or privacy.